Okie dokie, guys, let's graph a cosine, just so we got one of each, and both of these have had multiple, translations and transformations. We got phase shifts, we got horizontal shifts, we got amplitude changes. The only thing we don't have, again, is a negative number in front of those trig functions, simply because we haven't gotten there yet. And really, the negative number, like for example, if this 3 right here was negative, all it would do would be flip, it would flip your sign, that's all, or flip your graph, that's all it does. Okay, so again, let's list what we got. We've got an A equals a 3. We have a B equals a, remember, 1/4, right? We just take that fraction. Oh, B equals 1/4. We have a D, remember we go out of order, D equals pi over 2, and then we have a C of -2. Okay, so we've got those working for us. Now I'm going to get rid of this since we've got everything listed. Okay, start with the easy stuff first. Amplitude, no problem. Amp's going to be 3. That means my points are going to be 3 above and 3 below whatever my new horizontal axis happens to be. To find the period, you will always take the 2 pi. Okay, always 2 pi, or 360 degrees if you're working in degrees, but 2 pi, and divide it by your b value, so divided by 1/4. Remember, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by a reciprocal, so instead of dividing by 1/4, I'm really taking my 2 pi and multiplying it by 4, so the period is going to be 8 pi. So that means I have to get one cycle done in 8 pi. The phase shift, right? Phase shift, or you may hear me say horizontal shift, meaning right, left, but that's what it is, phase shift. You will always take the d value divided by the b value. So we are going to take pi over 2 divided by 1/4. Okay, so we've got pi over 2 times 4 over 1. So that reduces to 2 pi. So basically we're going to take our graph and we're going to move it 2 pi to the right before we even start. Remember, your phase shift is always the opposite of whatever that sign is. So if that's a negative, we go to the right. If it's a positive, we go to the left. Okay, but then your horizontal shift, okay, is always the same as whatever that happens to be. So since that is negative, we are heading 2 down. So my horizontal shift, whoopsies, there we go. That could have been so much funnier if I'd forgotten the F instead of the I, but keep it classy, kids. So we've got -2, right? So we are heading down 2. As with the sine function, it is easiest to just get our shifts actually graphed, those new axes, before we even start graphing anything else, before I worry about how many points do I need, where should those points be, every what pi, it doesn't matter. Get your shifts done. Horizontal shift is the easiest one to actually do, so we are heading down 2. So instead of up here, right, we are moving that down 2. So that new horizontal axis is going to be down 2. Oh, no, wait, I need a highlighter. Highlighter. There we go. Okay. And then the phase shift, we are moving 2 pi to the right. Ooh, at least this is nice. The sine one I gave you was a little bit yucky. You had to deal with fractions and stuff. So 2 pi to the right. So instead of starting from right there, which is our y-axis, we are going to take that y-axis and basically we're going to move it 2 pi to the right. So we're going through the 2 pi. And again, it's nice to have those on there so you can kind of see, you know what? I'm not dealing with the original axes, I'm dealing with new axes. And instead of starting at this original origin right here, right, I'm going to start right there. That's my origin, so to speak. Okay. Now, our amplitude is 3, so we're going to be 3 above, and cosine starts 3 above. So again, this is kind of your origin right here. You have to look at this as your origin. You're not starting from here. That's yucky. We don't want that, right? So what we're going to do is undo, because apparently I put a lot of, okay, there we go. We are going to, from this point right here, okay, from that point, we are actually going to go up 1, 2, 3. So this is where we're starting. That is our first point. Remember, cosine starts above the line. Okay, now I know I've got my starting point. I need to figure out where my other 4 points go. Remember, points. Take the period, whatever the period is. This period happens to be 8 pi. You will always divide it by 4 because I want to graph 4 more points. So 2 pi. So every 2 pi, okay, every 2 pi, I'm going to need a point. Okay, remember, cosine is above, on, below, on, above. Okay, you need a total of 5 points to make your cycle. Above, on, below, on, above. So every 2 pi. So then I'm going to be on, because I started at above here, then on, then below, and I need to be 1, 2, 3 below. Okay. And then I need to be back on, and then I need to be 1, 2, 3 above. Okay, and then you can look and you can see that every 2 pi, right? Every 2 pi I have a point, right? Because I went 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Miss P, Miss P. No, not really. I know. I know better. It's not going to stop me from saying it. But then you can also look, guys. Look, our last point in our cycle right here is at 10 pi. The first one was at 2 pi. What's 10 minus 2? It's 8. 8 was the period, 8 pi. Okay, so these are just little tricks that you can check to double, little tricks that you can do to double check and make sure that you've graphed it properly. And again, you can go like this is our one cycle. I'll graph it in blue. This is our one cycle, and remember we try not to make them V's because they are not technically V's, even though I know sometimes it comes out like that. You know, these curves should actually be curves and not V's and corners. So then we can do a couple more points, like I would go over to 12 pi, I'd be back on the line. If I went backwards here at 0, I'd be right here. Okay, so you can actually continue on that. Oh, that was a V. Sorry. That's it. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, well, you know, there we go. There we go. All right, so a sine and a cosine with pretty much everything except a reflection, right? So everything except that negative number in front of my amplitude, or my A value, I should say. Hope this helps.